Today we are going to see about the Finance Commission. So there are two types of government. Hope you all know what the union government and the federal government. So you here unitary government is something that is your single government, and federal government is different level of government. And let us see about the physical foundation federalisms, which is something between a central government and the state government. So, according to Joseph, the physical federation is concerned with the division of economic responsibility between the central and also state and also about the local governments. So, the division of responsibility resources between the central and state governments and regulations and incentives for resource transfer and the main is water tax expenditure about the state and the central and national and local public goods and tax composition and tax subsidies. What are the major subsidies provided by the government to the public, both either central and also state, and something in the financial imbalance between function and the financial resources. These are the responsibility which is discussed between the state and central government. These are the main key issues under the physical federations. So it is physical decentralization is something that it refers to the transfer of taxing expenditure powers from control of central government to subnational level of government like state and local government. So here the main purpose is to improve the administration and better accountability and larger participation in democratic process by the people and ultimately generation of economic welfare. So these are the components of decentralization. That is, main thing is that between the state and central is expenditure sharing and tax sharing, and local taxes and also user charges, and about the transfer of grants and loans, and these are the supplementary levels. So between the central and state financial relationship in India, according to the constitution, the division of responsibility between central and state areas are division of function, that is central government developmental and social function to promote growth and welfare, that is can be in education or health or any science and technology, labor and employment. And then it can be on economic services such as agriculture, industries, transport, communication and foreign trade. And it is also grants in aid to states for developmental purpose, and non-developmental, which means the maintenance of law and order, maintenance of external relationship and grants to the state. And next is something that state government, which means developmental, that is social, community and economic services, and non-developmental is something that pension and interest payment of loans. So these are the problems in types of this division, that is overlapping of functions, and they do not require freedom and autonomy in deciding and implementation. And next thing is that division of resource raising powers, which means a tax on income and expenditures, that is example income tax, expenditure tax and also corporate tax. Next, something is that tax on the property and capital expenditure, that is wealth and estate tax. Next will be tax on commodities, that is GST. There will be a central GST, which means a tax on intra-state supplies of goods and services. And state GST is something that intra-state supply of goods and services, but it will not be governed by the state government. An integrated GST, which means tax on the interstate supplies, which will be shared between the central and state government. Okay. Next is something that revenue from the other resources, which means which divides from railways, posts, telegraphs, RBI and PSUs, and interest receipts on the given state. Next is capital receipts, that is borrowing from domestic and international institute and government. So next is receipt of government, state government, that is tax receipt, that is which revenue receipts and capital receipts, which taxes on actual agriculture income, professional tax and property, and capital transaction like stamp and registration, land revenue and urban immovable property tax. Next is non-tax receipts, which interest receipts and divides from state enterprises. Next is something that receipts on capital account, that is loans in forms of bonds from center, shares in central taxes and grant and aid, and transfer of resources from center of states. Due to financial inadequacy of states, the constitution has made a provision for transfer of resources from central to state. There are two types. One is transfer of part of tax procedure, that is through finance commission. Next is transfer in the form of grants and loan, and third one is a transfer in the form of plan assistance for plan projects. Next is your finance commission. Finance commission is something mandatory body at the center of physical federation. Based on the article 280 of the constitution, it is a core responsibility to evaluate the state of finances of union and state governments, and it is working. It's characterized by extensive and intensive consultation with all the level of governments, and strengthen the principle of corporative federalism. So these are the main functions of finance commission. Thus the commission makes recommendation to the President of India on distributing of tax proceeds between the union and on the state, and share each state. Next is the commission also decides the principle of govern, that is payment of grant in aid to the states, and it is also something that refers any other matter to the finance commission, that is president refers the important things to the finance commission in interest of building the sound financial system. So the 14th Financial Commission of India was Finance Commission constituted in 2 January 2013, and 15th is on November 2007. So this commission is expected to submit the report on October 20, and it is recommended over a 5 periods, that is between April 20 to March 2025. So if you have any clarification related to this topic, feel free to approach me. Thank you.